loss. According to the mayor, the Onyx Maiden has traveled northeast to the wicked wetlands to hunt the beasts, hoping to borrow her maiden's relic. You decide to head that way as well. The shrine looks very much lived in, but no one appears to be home. Oh, the things the maiden has done for me. Why, any time I had a problem, she was there. She clearly trusts in the maiden with every fiber of her being. The maiden is the island's last hope, the old woman wails. To hear this man tell it, the island wasn't always covered in wetlands. The transition happened quite suddenly. He mentions that his bags are always packed, lest he need to flee a sudden mire. The wicked wetlands are a muddied, quaggy hive of monsters. Passing adventurers meet their fate either at the bottom of the murky marsh or upon a monster's jagged fangs. It's plain that there are a great many fiends lying in wait here. You try to focus in on your surroundings, but a scream rends through the pattering rain, not far from where you stand now. Show 'em what you got. Yikes. Magnificent. Magnificent. Worried that someone is being attacked by monsters, you spot a man frantically trying to pull something from the marshy waters. Desperation tinges every syllable of his shouts. Your eyes move to the man's hand, and you see that he's holding another person's. Someone has gotten stuck in the bog and is sinking into it. Now freed, the woman splutters and spits out mud. "I'm sorry this keeps happening," she says. The pair thanks you for your help and then offers their names. The woman is Queenie, the Onyx Maiden, who wishes dearly to save this island. The man is called Blight. Judging from his incessant fussing on... The man is called Blight. Judging from his incessant fussing and worrying over the maiden's unfortunate constitution, you can only assume he is the Onyx attendant. They explain they seek a rare flower that blooms here. Traveling through the monster-infested wetlands is terribly dangerous for only 2 people. You've come this far already, so you offer to accompany them. As you plod and splosh your way through the mushy ground, you come across the Onyx Maiden claims that this type of butterfly likes to drink the nectar of the rare flower she seeks. As you discuss this, the butterfly flies off, scales fluttering to the ground in its wake. You might be able to find your way to the flower if you follow the butterfly. Wow, what a beauteous butterfly! Magnificent. The butterfly hovers in the air, but there is no sign of the flower you seek. And now it's fluttered off again. This was, it seems, no more than a stopover on its journey. Hope you win. Magnificent. Magnificent. Yikes. Hope you win. Magnificent. The butterfly takes a little detour through some withered grass as it continues to flit through the stagnant air. The flower doesn't seem to be here either. Back on the butterfly's trail. And magnificent. Trudging through the soppy earth, you decide to ask the onyx for generations ongoing. the maiden has failed in her ritual. And now the island is dying. Now its fate hinges upon the Onyx Maiden Queenie and her attendant Blight. You think on this for a moment when Laddie loses her footing and flails about, close to tumbling over. You can't let Laddie get all covered in mud, but she flings her arms out to either side, regaining her balance. As all this is happening, Queenie ends up falling too, despite Blight's best efforts to help her keep her footing. Mud cakes her face. Magnificent. Congrats. Fight him off. Fortune fix. At the end of the narrowed path, though you are now deep into the wetlands, the flower is nowhere to be found. You wonder if the butterfly is even headed toward it at all. Fight him off. Magnificent. Your party has pursued the butterfly all the way to a clearing. The butterfly that led you here is resting its wings. There's the flower, Blight's voice rings out. And with a few radiant particles scattered in its wake, the butterfly disappears. Or was it never there at all? The flower blooming deep within the wetlands is a brilliant blue. A splash with a gentle movement. Queenie reaches out a hand to pick it. Suddenly, the ground beneath the blossom swells upward, and a huge monster shows itself. Battle is upon you. Magnificent. Fortune favors the... The sound of Blight's lightning attack rips through the rainy bog, striking the monster dead on. Its carapace pierced, the monster sinks back into the swampy muck. Stillness returns to the wetlands. The Onyx Maiden takes the blue flower gently in hand. She explains that this flower is actually a medicinal herb called clockweed. Apparently, it is used to heal wounds, and is even said to turn back time for the human body. Sensing another monster fixing its gaze upon your party, all the while, you find your attention drawn to the maiden's murmuring, drowned out though it is by the sound of the rain. This flower, buy more time. As you enter the village, a number of the villagers express their gratitude for her monster hunting, as well as their delight at the Onyx Maiden, bringer of hope to the village. Once the villagers are out of earshot, she is at a loss for a few moments, but then informs you that she has something she'd like to show you. She guides you to the Maiden Shrine. I shall allow you to borrow my relic, the Onyx Maiden says. She continues on, revealing that she is actually trying to abandon her maidenly duty. But as far as you can tell, she seems to be giving her all for the sake of the village. Why then, if she fulfills her mission, the island will be protected? Is there something even more? As if to answer your question, Queenie, slowly, when the light subsides and your eyes regain focus, you see Queenie, and there is a bull. The Onyx Maiden is pregnant. She explains that she's been using medicine made from the clockweed to keep her pregnancy hidden. She has dedicated her life entirely to the protection of this, but giving birth means her child too will be. She wants to protect her child. That is her only wish. and she conveys it. You can appreciate now why the Onyx Maiden wishes to. Queenie's anguish is plain to see as she runs a gentle hand over her stomach. It is not hard to imagine who the father of this soon-to-be-born child is. The anguished cries of the maiden, the last hope of a village facing oblivion, echo out in pain. The Onyx Maiden is laid upon a bed in the word of her condition spreads, and the villagers are unable to hide their agitation. All this time you have spent crossing the islands, Laddie has desperately sought, but now, having heard that Queenie wishes to abandon her own duty, it seems that all the while Queenie used the clockweed to keep her condition secret. The attendant divulges a little of the Onyx Maiden's feelings toward the impending birth. Over the long years of their relationship, stretching back to their childhood, through all that, never has she wished for anything except a safe birth for her child. Suddenly, the door bursts open. The monsters of the wetlands are amassing for an attack on the village. Fighting them off with Queenie confined to bed will be. Your group decides to head into the wetlands and launch a preemptive strike on the Fiend's Nest where they're gathering. The mayor looks out over the wetlands, unsure of whether to celebrate the new life that has entered the world or mourn the loss of the maiden. I can't believe the maiden would abandon her duties, the man says, clearly worried for the future. I stand by the maiden forever and always. You reckon this woman would be by the maiden's side, no matter what, because she stares into the middle distance. She goes on to explain that it's become too difficult to raise children here, especially with the threat of monster attacks. The rain falls in sheets. You spy the telltale signs of monsters between the drops. And Blight's eyes shine, and you can tell he wishes for nothing more than to protect his maiden. You forge onward through the wetlands to where they gather, at a place called the Fiend's Nest. You come upon a thronging nest of monsters in the innermost recesses of the wetlands. Every monster in the place has its eyes fixed firmly upon the intruders. That is, you. They roar in unison and begin to march forth. The village is in grave danger. You mustn't let a single one of these beasts escape. You grip your weapon tight, ready to do battle. Oh boy, don't let a single one escape. A monster lurking in the depths of the nest rears back, its massive bulk puffing up as it inhales deeply. It looks like it's getting ready to do something, and whatever it is will be headed your way. You and your comrades stand firm in the face of the monster, readying your weapons. Don't hold back. Yikes. The hulking beast bellows a blast of burning flame in your direction. Whoa, danger everywhere you look. You gonna be able to handle this? Fight him off. Don't hold back. Magnificent. Perhaps deciding that the ones slaying its kin are a threat. The massive beast that seems to be the master of the nest charges your way at the same moment. No matter how many enemies there are, you must stop their advance to the village. You and your comrades take deep breaths and prepare yourselves to face the monsters once more. Magnificent. Good work. Fight him off. The Nest Master's monstrous bulk trembles as it menaces your party. "Steel yourselves," says Blight. As if in defiance of his determination, the massive fiend lets loose a terrible roar. Whew, you've come this far. It's time to win. Magnificent. 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 That's not... After a fierce battle, the great fiend finally collapses to the wet earth in a spill of green ichor at the death of their leader. The other monsters lurking about all withdraw at once. Marvelous. You have managed to save Fenmos from the danger it faced. In the deep reaches of the fiend's nest, there is an altar tucked away in the shadows behind it. There is an egg. Perhaps the giant beast was protecting this. Any monster born from this egg would be a danger to Fenmos. You draw your sword and bring it down hard, crushing the egg to bits. The village's crisis is averted. You and your friends make your way back to Fenmos. No sooner do you pass the threshold back into town, you inform the mayor that you've wiped out all the monsters. And though he seems momentarily delighted at the news, He also seems terribly flustered. This isn't the you start to worry about Queenie. A village woman comes running. She explains that Queenie is going into labor. The woman points at Laddie. You there, come along. Difficult though it may be right now, all you can do is pray for Queenie and the child's safe delivery.